Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mancity Unplugged, your very own Mancity fan channel. This is your Monday evening Mancity Unplugged live. This is the time of the day for you to grab your favorite drink, settle down on the couch, and listen to all the Mancity news and updates. This is the first time we are actually going live after this channel was set up. So the breaking news today is that City is unwilling to meet the price for Koulibaly. I think that is something which we have known for weeks together. It's actually not something new, I should say. But then there have been numerous reports coming in from authentic tier one journalists that 55 million euros is something which City is willing to pay, but Napoli is asking for around 100 million euros. They don't want to budge on that valuation of 100 million euros, and I think City will not give in, just like it happened with Harry Maguire in the past and numerous other players with Sanchez in the past in terms of wages. I think City is not going to budge. And like I was discussing in the previous video, in one of my previous videos, I should say, Diogo Carlos, whose release clause, I guess, or the asking price is around 65 million euros, 70 million euros or something, seems to be a viable option for City. And I think that is where City looks to be going to, down that route. And I discussed why Diogo Carlos would be a much better option for City than Koulibaly. I made an elaborate video stating that why Carlos would be much suited for our future and all of that. And also I know Koulibaly didn't have a particularly good game against Barcelona, but then that's the same with Varane. Now you cannot say that both Varane and Koulibaly are shit. That it doesn't work like that. A single game and it could go wrong for anyone. Even Lionel Messi has sometimes has games in which is not good, though that is very rare. So it doesn't mean he's really bad. Uh, so so with that, I think Koulibaly is mostly out. There'll be speculation, yes, going around in the window, going around till the transfer window closes and stuff. That will continue. But then I think the Koulibaly deal should, unless Napoli lower their asking price down by 20-30 million euros, which I don't think they will do, especially. So I don't think that the deal will be possible. And now let's look into the interesting part of this. We play Lyon, and there have already been links linking us to houssem aourar. We have been linked to Houssem Aourar in the past. I think it was last season or season before that. I don't remember well, but we played with Lyon, and I think it was the last season, and we drew 1-1 with them away, and then we lost at the Etihad at our home 2-1. And after those two matches, links have been very fast and thick between Mancity, between us and Houssem Aourar. And yeah, when I look at Houssem Aourar, I see a player who is very fast, who's very smooth on the transitions. He presses well. His work rate is good. He nips the ball well. He turns well. He's very fast in the decision making and stuff. He has a really good long shot. Better long shot than Rodri and Fernandinho. I would say he's a player like Frankie De Jong. Frankie De Jong was someone whom we scouted extensively, and I think Houssem Aourar is of that ilk. But then I think we have those kind of central midfielders already there. We have Ilkay Gundogan, who's really good and who has good defensive abilities than Houssem Aourar. We have Kevin De Bruyne, who offers good work rate and who can play that box to box role. He has played it really well against Real Madrid, if you see. And we have Rodri over there, though Rodri is a bit different than, you could say, Houssem Aourar, but our requirement now, I think, is that we need players with more defensive steel. We have really good players going forwards, but not players with defensive steel. And in that midfield, I think we need to look at players who, even though they don't have much attacking prowess, who can recycle possession well and who can really provide us with that defensive capability. Because more often than not in the Premier League and in the Champions League as well, we play with teams who almost sit back with us and look to hit us on the counter. So and we often play with one holding midfielder. So can Houssem Orar just uh, uh, play that role as a Rodri or Gundogan? Or if he plays just box to box, I think he would not get regular game time. And a player of who's asking prices again 60, 70 million euros, would you put that much money when you could spend 70 million euros to maybe buy a Diego Carlos or to strengthen at left back area? I think that's a question you need to ask, and I personally think City will not go after Asim Morar. I mean, unless the price is like significantly lowered by at least 15, 20 million, which is a big reduction in the valuation to ask for, and I think City will not go down that route. So I think pretty much the two biggest transfer stories which are coming in now, related to both Orar and Koulibaly, both I think will not happen. They're just speculation fed by the club owners. That is what it seems now. Speculation fed by Lyon and Napoli and their owners, so that they'll get a good asking price in a pandemic stricken world where it's becoming increasingly difficult, to sell out players for higher prices. Like for example, Jadon Sancho, such a good talent whose 120 million valuation is very fair, but United are not able to meet him in a world which is free of pandemic. Maybe United would have gone and spent it, but that's what it is happening. It's not just United, around the world clubs are like reluctant to pay high prices, and that's why I think the business which City got done was very shrewd, very clever. And like I mentioned in my previous videos, and I always keep mentioning, we have turned into this transfer machine, a model for clubs to look up to. We just identify the targets, go very fast, and then we do it. We don't drag out transfer sagas, and we don't get involved in all that stuff, and we're not afraid to walk away from players as well, even though the players might be of a really high ilk, or they might be rated very highly, or it might threaten our chances of trophies and success. We don't care. We have our principles of transfer, and we follow them. And the interesting thing was that City was linked with a left back, though I would say that he was is I think a 17-year-old left back. I don't remember his name. He's from Brazil, and I think uh, he'll just be bought to be a part of the City football group, and again loaned back and forth, and be seen whether he's good enough to come into the first team after a couple of loan spells. But the interesting thing was the right back which City had signed. It had gone a little bit under the radar. Yan Couto was the right back from Brazil, very highly rated. When you see him, he has that glimpses of Danny Alves in the way he aggressively goes forward, and he really bombs forward and puts in that crosses into the box. And his defensive skills is are are fine. I would say, I would not say they're really good enough and stuff, because he's just 18 or 19 and he needs time. But there have been reports that Pep Guardiola has an eye of progressing him into the first team very slowly, like he had done with people like Phil Foden, with Eric Garcia. Pep Guardiola, I mean, reports are that Pep Guardiola really rates Jan Couto really highly, and I mean, seeing him play, I mean, glimpses of watching him play really, I mean, confirms the fact. But again, you can't really get anything from glimpses of watching him play or from YouTube videos and all, because they just put in only the best bits, and that is not what more often than not confirms the true potential of a player. So yeah, Jan Kuto is the one who I think we should look forward to. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. But this year, what about the cover? What about the defensive cover? That's an interesting thing, because The reports are that Otamendi is interested in going back to Valencia, and and I mean City are just working on a deal for him. But if we send, yes, Otamendi and John Stones, I think John Stones is an interesting one. I'll just come back to John Stones after a few minutes. But then yeah, Otamendi is, yeah, I think Otamendi is someone who has stayed an year too long at City. So he should have gone last year. That would have been the perfect going off. But then, just as in life, we don't want to leave. We don't realize, especially that we have dropped off too much when the going is well for us. We only realize it when we had a bad season, or when we have a bad couple of months. We look into ourselves and realize that, okay, now the time has come for me to make my last move of the career, or make one last twilight. Yeah. And so I think Otamendi has realized that, and fair enough, he's going to Valencia, and I think we have signed Nathan Ake. And I think one more partner to Laporte is coming, that everyone knows. And again, will it be Koulibaly or Carlos? We have discussed it previously. And also I think John Stones is a really interesting one. Let me come into this. We have given him, what, 3 years to him at the club. What do you think? What do you guys think? Do you think that we should give him more time at the club, or do you think that, yes, it's over for John Stones, and we should just part ways with him? We should just make a profit on him now. I mean, you can't make a profit on him, but we should just sell him off and maybe cut our losses. I think we'll get at least half the money with which uh, we bought him for. I think reports are that there are a couple of clubs interested in him, maybe an Arsenal or two, three clubs. Newcastle's name was there, but now that the takeover has not materialized, they would not be interested in him. But I think 20-25 million is the range which John Stones is said to being offered by many clubs. So I think we should just take it off, and we should just promote maybe a Taylor Howard Ballas into that fourth spot, because that is where John Stones is going to be fourth in the order. It's going to be Laporte, another centre back, Carlos, Koulibaly, or whoever would come in. Nathan Ake three, and John Stones would be fourth. What I would do is I would take the money for John Stones, and then invested in buying a partner for Laporte, and then invested in buying a first choice partner for Laporte, and then maybe put it on. And then maybe bring Taylor Howard Ballas into the team as a fourth centre back and groom him. I mean, Taylor Howard Ballas, I think he has been good last season in a few Carabao Cup performances. Do you guys think that a loan spell would serve better to him than him just being, I mean, fourth choice centre back? Mostly, I think he would just get chances to play in Carabao Cup, FA Cup. But I think what I personally feel is that if he goes out on loan, he will he will get that much needed physicality. I would loan him to Premier League club than a club outside of the Premier League. As a defender, I think he'll develop that much needed physicality and things like that. He'll become tough. Tough is the word I would use. uh, I mean, Phil Foden was different. Phil Foden, if he was loaned back to any club, he would not have developed as well, because how many clubs play the way City play in the midfield, that pressing style, that going into those little gaps, and finding spaces when there are almost no spaces available. How many teams do that? Not, I mean, no one, not many, I think, in the Premier League. So Phil Foden staying at City was the best option, what I thought was, and what many of you guys agreed with as well. I mean, that's a consensus. The way Phil Foden has progressed, I mean, the physicality, the audacity, the mentality has developed to play as a false nine in a season defining match against Real Madrid, the kings of Europe. It's just that his progression has been perfectly executed and planned by Guardiola and the club. Just kudos to the club. Appreciate the club, the way They have managed Phil Foden. He's one of our own. So yes, and all the fans were really happy with his performance against Madrid. It was just fantastic. Madrid didn't know what to do. His energy, the way he was pressing, the you could say the chemistry, the understanding he has developed with many players in the City squad. Especially playing the false nine was not easy. The way he rotated seamlessly in that front three with Jesus and Sterling, and also the way he dropped back, him and De Bruyne and Gundogan also in the second half exchanging positions. It was just fantastic. And so I think Taylor Howard Ballas Premier League team. I think being at City, he would not know that defensive steel. He would not develop that defensive steel side of things. Maybe if he's under the cost, how many times will you be under the cost? Never, almost never in the season. Maybe one, 3 or 4 times you could count it on your fingertips when you play as a defender against City. But if you go to some other Premier League teams, you would really have to defend. You're really under pressure for uh, in every match. You'll have those moments when you really have to prove that defensive metal and steel, and I think, and you have to fight for your physicality and stuff, and those things will really toughen the lad up. And the best thing I would say for Taylor Howard Ballas is to go out on a loan, but I would not be surprised if Guardiola keeps him and nurtures him, especially under the guidance of someone like an Aymeric Laporte, and also Fernandinho could teach one or two things to him about the positional sense, and also the second centre back who's coming in. But I think for a youngster, it's important. I think especially if he goes out on a loan. That's what is my feeling. Whatever you guys feel, please let me know in the comments below. And also I think, and other thing is Tosin Adrab. If we do sell John Stones, I mean, even if we don't sell Tosin Adrabioyo, yes, Tosin Adrabioyo is someone whom I would really consider for this uh, to take that fourth centre back spot. He is back from his second loan spell. I think I don't remember the club. Was it at Wigan? Where is there, or Blackburn Rovers? I don't know. I don't remember. Yes, uh, he's there. So I think that would make a lot of sense to bring in Tosin Adrabioyo into that fourth centre back spot. And he has done really well when in his second loan spell as well, and he has done well in the first loan spell as well. And he is really good on the ball. He's from the City Academy. He knows the style of play. He is uh, he has really uh, he has really developed that understanding of he's really developed that understanding of how to play in a Guardiola system. I think 2 or 3 years back, he has also played under Manuel Pellegrini, and he has learned how to he has learned how to defend. He has added the defensive steel to his game, which was missing from 3 years ago. I saw him play 3 years ago, and he was good on the ball. He was good in the air. That was fine, but there was no defensive steel. You could turn him, you could run past him, you could nutmeg him. That was I mean that was always there. But now when I saw him in the loan spells, I had a couple of glimpses of him. You could see that he's really developed into that man, a man who I want Taylor Howard Ballas to be, a man who could really have that potential of leading a City's defense 3 4 years down the line. And I think Edrabiayo is in that stage of his career where he would really benefit from being at City and being under the tutelage, under the guidance of Guardiola. And we have Lupus 1444 here, and is telling once again Koulibaly is not moving anywhere, and sure, not to Man City. Yes, actually, Lupus has been constantly active, especially on my and a big shout out to Lupus. Hi, Lupus. And he has been especially active on my Koulibaly videos. There was a video I I I, I put up a couple of days ago, and Lupus was telling he's surely not moving to Man City. Though Lupus, I disagree with you, because Napoli has agreed a deal, and I think they've completed a deal with Victor Osimhen. Uh, so I think, where will they get the funds now? I think they have always planned to sell Koulibaly. if it is not for Man City, not to Man City, I don't think any club who would pay 90 million euros in this pandemic stricken world. So I think Man City is one of the few options which Napoli are left with, and if they want to really cut some losses, make some money, I think they would have to sell Koulibaly. If they don't, it's up to them. Man City, again, like I told, Man City is not someone who can be bullied. We walk away from players. Koulibaly is not the necessity for us. It doesn't mean that we don't get Koulibaly, we can't challenge for the title. No, we already have alternative two, alternative three, and alternative four also. Like I said, Diego Carlos is one alternative. We have maybe Pau Torres, who's another alternative. So apart from Koulibaly, we already have two alternatives that are listed. So it this deal is more essential for Napoli, I think, than for Manchester City, because Manchester City, we have the finances. We are a club that don't need to cut costs. We are a club that are not laying off staff and doing anything like that. But Napoli is the one who needs finances now. Napoli is the one who has invested a lot in Victor Osimhen. Napoli is the one that doesn't have Champions League, which means I think a couple of 60, 70, 80 million euros of their revenue, along with their purchase of Victor Osimhen, if I'm not wrong. So so I think it's the ball is in Napoli's court. It's up to him. We are prepared to walk away from Koulibaly's deal. As Man City fans, we don't need Koulibaly. If he comes, is really good, but we have our options again listed. Uh, so I think we are not in a place to be hard pressed for any player. We will not be bullied, and I'm with the club in that. If the club has decided to walk away from a player, I'm with them, because they are really signing what are the players that are really essential for us uh, at a really good price, I would say, not being bullied into making huge investments like our neighbors or clubs, uh, or clubs who are doing it, who say that we have big finances, we have lot many fans, and all of that, and we are pouring in good money into the club. Well, your money is not being managed that much, that well, like City is doing it. The model of City is really, I would say, an example of how to build a sustainable club. Yeah. So yes, we were discussing about Tosin Adrabioyo and how he has gone up from the City system. He was an academy youngster. He has captained City through various youth levels, and has gone on loans and has been successful. I think this is the path which someone like Taylor Harvard Bellis also should follow an example of. And I would just bring in Tosin Adrabioyo in the fourth spot and nurture him. I think this is from this season. I think we should also be looking to nurture as many youngsters as possible, and slowly show that there is a path. If you are in the City academy, there's a path for you to go into the first team. Like a Phil Foden. Phil Foden, I'm sure, will be a regular next season, and that's been emphasized with a greater message than ever by Pep Guardiola, who selected him in a false nine role in one of the blockbuster clashes of the season against the Kings of Europe, with the tie on a knife edge. The tie was not over by any means. Even 60 minutes into the game, the tie was not over. Guardiola trusted him. He could very well have trusted Bernardo Silva, who has played there before in high profile games, who had Champions League experience, but no, this was a message that we trust City's academy. That was the message from Guardiola, and just kudos to the City staff and Guardiola and everyone for believing in Phil Foden and being patient with him, and timing his transition extremely well. Yes, so I think it's the same way we need to actually provide. Yeah, I think it's the same way. I was just checking the sound on the earphone. I just thought there was some problem with it. Yeah, um, sound on the microphone rather, not the earphone. Yeah, so I think we need to provide the same path, for other City youngsters to to just transition into the first team. We need to show them, even though the City has a lot of superstars, if the right attitude and the right talent is available, Uh, the coaches at City, the staff at City, the managers are all ready to give them a chance. That has been shown with Phil Foden. I think Tommy Doyle is another one whom I can see a clear path into the team. Guardiola is slowly starting him in the central midfield for City. I mean, albeit in the Carabao Cup games and and the FA Cup games and all of that. Yeah, Tommy, and I think the presence of Tommy Doyle is one thing why I again would not be interested in spending 70 million euros with Jose Morar. I would just see how the kid performs, how the kid transitions, and because the kid just seems to have good ability on the ball, especially ability in picking out long passes, and seems to have a good shot on him. He might not be as smooth as Jose Morar, but then he's 3 4 years younger than Morar with no European experience, no experience at the top level. So I think I would give him chance. And regarding the goalkeeper, Jack Steffen is again coming in. Jack Steffen is highly rated in the MLS, and he is expected to provide good competition to Ederson. So there are good youngsters coming in. Jan Koto, we have spent I think 15 to 18 million euros on a youngster. So I mean, 19 years of age, 18, 19 years of age from Brazilian league, and he's highly rated. So if we are spending 19 million euros on a youngster who's not played in the big European leagues and stuff, I think Guardiola has bought him with an emphasis on the first team, with an eye on the first team. I think uh, I think actually that is what Guardiola has bought him for. I expect him to start, if not this year, next year. Not exactly start to provide competition for Kyle Walker and go. My one worry is the left back spot. It's not a worry, I should say, but then we have Nathan Ake who can provide cover in both the positions, and Cancelo did extremely well. So I think if Jan Koto works out, you would have even Cancelo who can play on both the wings, and you have Benjamin Mendy, and hope so he has overcome all his injury problems. The Actually the cover the positions defensively at City, the defensive positions at City look very promising. I would say they're not as bleak as they're not as bleak as people thought them to be at the beginning of the season. Like for example, there was just gung ho, there was just panic AOWL button that was pressed, telling that City is just very bad defensively. Albeit we finished uh, way behind Liverpool. We were second in the Premier League, and our defensive failings mostly have been due to Laporte getting injured. What if a Van Dijk got injured for Liverpool? I think it would mostly have been the same, right? So it was always not as bad as people seemed to sound out. But then City, fair enough, the club has gone, and I've anticipated if an other scenario like that occurs, we should not be sent into defensive crisis. I think Laporte gets injured an year ago as well. We had Company, or we also had Otamendi, who was good, whose positional sense was not as bad, who didn't drop off as much last year. So yeah, so I think Laporte getting injured with Otamendi over the hill, and John Stones losing confidence. It was just, and Benjamin Mendy injured for the second year in a row as well. It was just a combination of 2 3 injuries. I mean, just imagine if Van Dijk gets injured and Robertson gets injured, and for a couple of games there is no Ellison as well. Like Ederson missed 1 or 2 games in the Premier League, and look at Liverpool's defense. What would have happened? It's the same thing. It's just a combination that no one has anticipated. No one anticipated that this season those many people really will just get injured. So and fair enough, the club are planning for such a scenario forward, and the club are bringing in good reinforcements. And like I was discussing, the left back is one thing. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below as well. Do you think that City should go all out for another left back, a 50 60 million euro rated left back, and or should we just wait? Uh, should we just wait on on a youngster coming through from the academy, or okay, should we just say Cancelo is here, Benjamin Mendy is here, and we have Zinchenko who could cover in the lesser games, but in the big games you have Cancelo who looks fairly comfortable in the left back spot as well. Uh, should we do that? If you ask me personally, I would just bring a youngster in around that 20-25 euro price range, because there don't seem to be any youngsters coming from our academy, and what I would do is nurture him. And this season I would just put all my money on Mendy not getting injured again. Come on, after 2 years, if he gets injured again, what, he has come to Manchester and he has just been injured in the last 2 years. So I would just put my money that he has money on the fact that he has overcome all of his issues, and he would be really ready and raring to go this season. And if a if a scout see a really good prospect, what I would see is that we'll go for him for 18 to 25 million euros, and in that range, and we'll stick with Cancelo. And we'll stick with Cancelo and Mendy for this season. And also got, and Ake is another option we have at that place, because if we bring in a second choice centre back to partner Laporte, Ake is someone who will not get regular game time. So I think Ake is again um, someone who can provide us cover at that place. So the transfer window just seems to be going really good. And also the Champions League games, it's against we are up against Lyon next, Lyon on Friday, the exact same time as we played Real Madrid last week. And still the defeat. And how are you guys feeling? Still, I'm just soaking in that defeat. What a wonderful weekend it was. I was really happy, still basking in the defeat, the way we played, the way tactically we outwitted Real Madrid, and the character we showed, the personality we showed, and everything. It was just wonderful. So again, this is I mean, these evening shows, it's not just Monday evening. All of the evening, I'm just planning to do these shows. Just come in front of you, and we'll have a half an hour or an hour long chat uh, with the day's developments regarding Man City. It could be a news regarding the transfers. It could just be casual chats about what we feel about the club. Casual chats about the areas which we should develop, casual insights from this season. I mean, conversations about what you think we will need to develop in order to make sure that uh, we don't experience the same failings as last season. And also we'll discuss about the upcoming Champions League games, and all of that. It's just gonna be relaxing chats which we really feel enthusiastic listening to at the end of the day, having your favorite drink and just lying down on the couch, or doing your favorite work and just listening to it. So again, thank you all so much for joining in, those who have just those who have just joined in. And I'll be back in the evening every day like this, and I really appreciate you all joining in and commenting on this show. And what else would you like what else would you like me to bring to this show? And like I said, again, we'll just be having casual chats. This is just a laid back show, everything about Man City, all the unplugged. uh, we'll have all the conversations about City again. Have have a really nice evening, and again, see you all tomorrow. And um, we'll just be building up on uh, we'll just be building up to the Lyon game, not on. There's nothing to build up on, no season. We'll just be building up to the Lyon game and see, could that be a potential banana skin for City, or or what is it? So we'll just be building up on it. And again, have a nice evening, take care. And if you're just liking this content, do subscribe to this channel. And today is the first day that we've gone live and doing these chats. I really enjoyed speaking to all of you live. And do subscribe to the channel and do like it if you're enjoying the content. and see you all again tomorrow. Take care and have a nice laid back evening. See you all. Bye.